fantastic. Coffee. Okay. Here we go. Alrighty. I'm doing this as a live video because it's just a lot faster to produce a video this way. Again, I didn't really announce this live stream, so I don't expect anyone to actually show up. I just sort of started this one, but it allows me to create these videos very quickly here, as I have to focus my time on development here. So what I'll do is, hey, welcome. If we haven't met yet, I'm Jerrel Dulay. I'm the developer of the Silver Falls games. Actually, some people have been asking for gameplay trailers of Undertakers just to see what the gameplay is like. So I thought I'd create this video. I'll start game A, which is story mode. So here we go. And if anyone does want to hop into the chat at any point, we can hang out and have a chat. So I just thought it'd be a fun way to... I think a lot of people have already played Undertakers, so I think this will be an interesting format to at least people that have already seen Undertakers can sort of get like a director's commentary on it and some of my thoughts behind the scenes. So it might be a little choppy because of the recording setup. If I wasn't recording it, it would be much smoother. Okay, so I picked up a candle here, and then we've got the character, Willie there. All right, so Silver Falls Undertakers is an adventure game that's very much in the style of games from the late 70s and early 80s. And there were quite a few things, some design decisions that were really... they were tough to make because there has to be a balance between modern expectations and adhering to the style in which your game is presented in. And there's always this conceit of evoking the style of an era, but then it's easy to betray that and to not faithfully adhere to the spirit and the limitations of that era. So it's always a fine line to walk. Any sort of developer that creates a game evoking a vintage style has a very fine line to walk, and that line is the difference between making something creative and making something annoying. So with Undertakers, it was quite tough for me to create something that was able to balance that line. For example, there's no pausing, and there are no save points. And pausing is more of just like a funny quirk. Like, there isn't really a huge need to have a pause button because you can close the lid on a 3DS. So to me, it wasn't a huge problem to not have a pause button. Saving was something that I really thought quite hard about. Yeah, you should be at the cabin with your friend. And if your game has saving, then it needs to be designed in a way that makes use of saving. And if you have a game that saves, there is the expectation that the game is going to be quite long, and it's going to be this adventure where the saving is meaningful. And if your game is designed in that way, it cannot be true to the spirit of a game from the era. And it's something that people can debate with night and day, and it's good to have those debates. It's important to discuss those sort of topics, but I'm approaching this from the perspective of, if you have saving, it inherently changes absolutely everything about the game. And from the outset, I would not have been able to create a game that feels faithful to the Atari 2600 era. Oh, hey, RoboCoop, what's up? Thanks for showing up. I'm going to move the chat window over to my other monitor so it's easy to read. If you welcome, if you just jumped in, I'm playing Silver Falls Undertakers. People have been asking for gameplay. So this game is very much, I'll tell you, Johan, if I ever find that boy alone, you should just forget it, Eli. It is no big deal. I'm so pissed off, I need to blow off some steam. So it's very much in the style of an adventure game where if you lost the manual for the game, you're probably going to have a bad time. I played a whole lot of E.T. the Extraterrestrial when I was a kid. I never saw the manual for that game, but apparently you really need the manual for it. So with Undertakers, I wanted to create something that felt like an adventure where you really just had to keep wandering around and finding all the stuff, and eventually you would memorize where all the key items are. Okay. Here's my dude. Let's see what this dude says. Scram, you runt unless you want a whipping. Okay, it's not safe here. Here we go. Zubair, hey, how's it going? Hello. Yeah, and so I wanted to focus on the lore and the environment of Silver Falls in the 70s, so much in the way that Galaxy Bound Curse, which you can play right now for free, you can grab the Game Boy ROM from the silverfallsgame.com website, so go ahead and grab that and play that any way you want. And I'm still updating that as well. But it's an opportunity for players to just spend time in Silver Falls and to really get the vibe of Silver Falls. I'm gonna see if anyone's down here. Here we go. I'm actually on the bottom touch screen now, which doesn't show up on the recorder. Okay. Yeah. Look, I really love this style of games. Just the visuals. You can do really creepy stuff with it. I'm gonna try to avoid this Undertaker here because I'm trying to get to a building and he's really in the way. Ah, yes, here we are. This is the pancake gobbler. Gobble gobble, it's me, the pancake gobbler. He's baked as a pancake right now. The stars are falling out of the sky, man. Felix, hi, how's it going? Do you think this suit actually tastes like pancakes? Should I take a bite? So whether I name it an acronym or I give it a name that's more independent of the platform is depending on whether or not I can come up with an interesting game concept and come up with an acronym. And if I can't, then I'll just make a name that fits it more the theme of the game as opposed to the name of the platform. So I'm just sorry. My brain I've had a long work day. So Midnight Realm, they're fake, right? The men from Mars and Moon Monster, that's all made up, right? If I seen them lights in the sky, that couldn't be an alien, right? No, couldn't be. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is take the pancakes. Okay. You know, if something about a giant stack of pancakes, I'd take a bite. I'm gonna talk to the sheriff here. Hi there, Bull. What are you doing out so late? I know you won't listen if I tell you to go home and stay indoors. What I'm actually going to do in the upcoming update for Undertakers is increase the amount of time that the text stays on screen. I don't know why it's moving so fast. I thought I already adjusted that, but I have had people ask if they could make it so the text stays on there faster and then you can just skip it with a button press. I thought I had adjusted it to be longer than that, but it looks like the text is just moving pretty fast, so I will fix that. I am a huge fan of the Atari E.T. game, but not in like a good way. In a sort of I have memories of playing this, so it's just locked to nostalgia. So let's see what this is. So yeah, I played a lot of E.T. growing up, and I would play it to spite myself, because after a while I'd have enough of Super Mario, Zelda, and then I'd be sitting up late at night. I'd be staring at my Atari 2600, and I had better games. You know, I really liked River Raid and titles that were actually pretty fun. Sometimes I would just pop in ET because in my mind I'm thinking, no, I'm the one that's wrong. This this can't be a bad game, right? I'll play it again, and I'll play it for maybe half an hour and think, man, this is a bad game. All right, we'll talk to this guy here. There's so much stuff coming out of his body. He's trying to utter his last words, but can't. Okay, I'm gonna not step on that business. I'll walk around that. Oh, River Raid! Oof, that's a great game. Is it? Enduro as well was the driving one, and the little the wheel. Actually, I have my Atari controllers here on my display on my wall. All right, so this is Willie. If I give him the pancakes, it should unlock him as playable. Yummy! Wish we had coffee to have with the pancakes. Thank you, Bull. I feel better now. I'll explore that loud sound outside if we stay together. Okay. I think I can be brave if we stay together. So if you give Willie Belgrade the pancakes, he'll become unlocked. The game doesn't have a message for it, but it just silently unlocks him as a playable character for Game B mode. This game does not display in 3D, no. I had tested it, but because the backgrounds are a flat color, I don't know where my hands are now, because it's a flat color, you don't see the difference in 3D. So there's no 3D. And of course it would have been confusing, and it's like a big paperwork mess to explain that to Nintendo. So I just disabled the 3D because you wouldn't see it anyway. If I had a textured, if the background had any sort of texture to it, you would see some 3D, but you know, then it wouldn't really be an Atari game if it had a textured background. Where am I supposed to go now? Let's see. I want to get a gun. All right, I'll see if I can remember where a gun is. I'm gonna go down here. This plays on all. Hey, Luna Knights, how's it going? This plays on all models of 3DS. So yeah, quite a few people have been asking about gameplay trailer and whatnot for this game. So I thought it'd be fun to hang out with people and chat, and then we can just talk about the game. And then also you guys can see where some stuff is. The whole point of the game, I wanted to design it faithfully as an Atari game. So if you memorize where all the items are and where everything is on the map, you can speedrun the game and play it very quickly. And the challenge of the game is exploring and playing for a while and then learning where everything is. And true to being an Atari game, your save file is not in the game, the save file is in your heart because you remember where everything is, you know, and that's how I like to think of it. There's a crumpled, okay, lovely space babes hungry for love. Whoa, I'll get in trouble for looking at this. I better not tell Grandpa I found it. I wonder where it came from. Okay, here's this creepy guy. Let's talk to him. Yeah, the backgrounds wouldn't. Yeah, you're right, Jason. Yeah, it wouldn't even show up anyway. Yeah. Oh, you're not. Beat it, runt. I don't want nothing to do with ya. I don't feel like tangling with your granddad, so scram. Okay. So, the one. Yes. So there's one that's exclusive to, I have the 4 upcoming games. Only one of them is exclusive to new, and that's Guardians and Metal Exterminators. So you can call it game. And the reason being is I originally designed it so the whole game was actually like a Tiger Electronics game, and then I built a second mode that is that modern look with the more realistic graphics. But then I ended up pouring more and more time and more content and more effort into that more realistic looking mode that, you know, has just a cool action RPG dungeon crawler, and then the Tiger Electronics portion of the game ended up becoming the side mode, so they switched places during the development. Yeah, I'm in my brain I'm automatically naturally avoiding the Undertakers because I designed the game, so I kind of know the path to avoid the Undertakers. So I've got a gun here. All right, I know where to go. So in a way, this is also like a little bit of a strategy guide as well. Yeah. Okay, and the Undertakers are actually a form of, if you memorize where each Undertaker buries you and drops you off, you can actually use them as a fast travel system. So that's part of the design of the game, is they seem like they're a threat. Hey, how's it going, Ollie Dog? Thanks for jumping in. Oh, this is the wrong... This is Soldier. There's a dog here. He seems very friendly. His collar has a tag that reads Soldier. He's wearing a backpack with a quiver full of arrows attached. Soldier seems happy to just sit here and wait. Soldier looks hungry. I should find food for him. So you can unlock Soldier for Game B mode, but you can't do that on the same playthrough as Willy because you can only get one stack of pancakes. So you actually have to play through the game multiple times. You can unlock Soldier to help you in Game B. So I might be able to use an Undertaker to help me fast travel because I want to get... I'm going to let him grab me. Oh no, this one's taking me the wrong way. Ah, I've unfast traveled myself. Dang, 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 dang. Dang. All right. Oh, there's a girl in a hole. I'm on the bottom screen right now. It's me, Shelly Ann from school. Bring me rope. Help me climb out, please. Okay, I'll do that. Just okay. I'm doing it. Let me climb out of the hole. All right. I need to find a different Undertaker to help me fast travel. The game does save characters that you unlock. So there's actually a bunch of characters you can unlock for Game B mode. So that does save. Will this guy take me? Okay, this guy might help me with fast travel here. All right, cool. That actually... Okay, this one was helpful. All right, hold on. There's a guy in a hole down here. My name is Duke. I broke my leg when I fell. Bring me something to help me walk. And the reason why Undertakers is so vague is because I really wanted to evoke that sense that you got from Atari's 2600 games, where you often felt quite lost, and so you would just... Lost in a sense if you didn't know what to do in the game, but then you also ended up getting lost in a sense of like imagination, because you really got sucked into the world as you felt like you had to figure out where to go and what to do. And that sort of, it goes in line with sort of like the 70s and 80s like monster movies, you know, like the sort of Stranger Things or the E.T. thing, where you felt like you're a kid in this world where you don't know what anything is, what anything means, you don't know where anything is, and you're literally just setting out into the world to explore. And that's this really incredible vibe that you get from 70s and 80s nostalgia, and that's really what I was trying to evoke with Undertakers. So I really wanted just a chill experience that you kind of vibe to, and you just wander around and explore, and you stumble your way through it. And that's kind of how 70s and 80s stuff feels to me. Yeah, I love Pitfall. I played a lot of Pitfall as well. Okay, take care. We'll see you, Oli Dog. Yeah, yeah. Okay, find Crutch, rescue Duke. There is nothing left of his face. Okay, a gurgling sound is coming from the claw marks that have shredded his throat. I want to look him in the eyes, but it's like staring into a bottomless chasm. Should I reach out and try to comfort him? Maybe he's already dead. Alright. A lot of the dialogue I actually forget that I write it, so sometimes it shocks me when I come back to it after a while. The frame looks like it was handmade from popsicle sticks and macaroni. It's too bad this photo will never end up where it was meant to go. Yikes. Yeah, it's pretty dark. I do often forget a lot of the dialogue that I write, so yikes, that was dark. Okay, so in the... Yeah, Lunar Nights, exactly. That was the appeal, is you lure people in with like, oh, this is just like a cute little Atari game, and then it gets dark very quickly. And yeah, I think that's something I strive to achieve with all the games, is you kind of get a false sense of security. Yeah, and I really love the aesthetic, the Atari 600 look lets you achieve a weird mishmash of like something that's really dark and adorable at the same time. So this is in the version that's out on the eShop right now, and of course I'm updating Undertakers to fix the glitch. If you talk to this girl back here before you rescue her, weird glitches can start happening in the game. So I'm actually going to rescue her before I talk to her, and then the glitch won't happen. But once the update is rolled out, that glitch will be gone. Yeah, don't worry about it. So this is Bone Grizzly, the leader of the biker gang. Hey girlie, you're on fire, baby, come on. I got a wick you can set on fire. You heard of me, right? I'm Bone Grizzly, I'm the boss. Let me show you why they call me Bone. Okay, you've never seen dialogue like that in an Atari game. Scram, chump, boss is about to get some action. He'll beat you into a pulp if you get in his way. Ain't nothing can stop him, he ain't scared of nothing. Okay. Knocked me down dead, I hate when the boss gets like this. Bone wasn't always like this, but lately he acts like he owns the world. I wish I had the spine to stop him. This won't end well. The only thing he's scared of is guns, and he won't let us carry any. Well, I've got a gun. Let's see what this guy says. Back off, buckaroo. I can't let you leave here. It's the boss's orders. Yeah, absolutely. Because people are still enjoying the games, and people are messaging me and telling me they're enjoying the games, so I'll keep updating them and fixing them. Okay, so yeah, because this is a strategy guide, you know, I don't want to like ruin or spoil anything, but there's a lot to the game anyway. So I just shot him. You know, I showed you that the characters are sort of giving you the tips about gun. Call an ambulance. I'm bleeding. This kid is insane. Let's get out of here. And the update, actually, I'll show you 3 Downstars after we've played a bit of this. I'll go to 3 Downstars and I'll show you some of the updates for 3 Downstars. So I've got that ready to go. Thank you. You saved me. My name is Oxa. What's your name? I don't sound like a good 16-year-old girl. Rope for climbing. Okay. Some people have messaged me with their high scores for Game B, and some people have got way higher scores than I ever got. I think there's someone out there, and he's used Willy in Game B, and he got an insane score. So with Willy, can this guy help me fast travel? See, I'm not even scared of Undertakers. I'm one with the Undertakers, so I don't fear them, you know. All right, he helped me traverse a lot of the map. Okay, so there's the bottom screen. Oh, there's a flashlight down here. Ah, okay, I have to remember. See, this is where the challenge and the fun comes in, is you have to remember where the items are, because I know that I need the flashlight later. It's on the bottom screen, you can't see it on there. But I know that I need to come back here to get the flashlight, because you can only carry one item at a time. So I need to go back to Shelly Ann, who wants the rope, so I have to remember where she is. And on the website, if you need a map, there is a map on the website, but if you want to like open the wrapper of like a Big Mac or your like a Happy Meal wrapper and then draw a map on the back of that while you're playing the game, you can do that too. Thanks, Noctis. I appreciate it. Is Slim playable? Actually, no, Slim isn't. That's someone a lot of people have actually asked for Slim to be playable, because he's just really ridiculous. Yeah, so what happens with Unity is, oh man, I need another Undertaker to help me with fast travel. So when I've explained it a little bit here and there in videos, but when Unity loads textures into memory, every time you enter a scene, and then when you leave a scene, it tries to release all the textures from memory, and then it has to reload the next textures. But there's a problem with Unity on the 3DS, and it doesn't actually release the textures. And so the problem is, it's a little bit like Tetris, where, you know, when you play Tetris and sometimes there's blocks left in inconvenient spots, and then you can't clear that line because now there's like single blocks left over in Tetris. That's what's happening with the memory on is it in here? No, dang. That's what's happening with Unity on the 3DS and 3 Downstars. And so what I've figured out is with 3D textures, you generate what are called MIP maps, and they are smaller resolution versions of your textures. And so that's so when an object is farther away from the camera, it'll use a lower resolution texture. But that means that every single texture in the game has a bunch of duplicates of it that end up taking really small spots in memory. And then that causes what's called memory fragmentation, kind of like the blocks in Tetris. So it's like every single texture in the game is filling up spots, and eventually you're going to get to a place where the game can't fit a texture into memory anymore because there's all these inconvenient spots that are taken up. Pardon me. Or have a sip of my coffee. And so what I've done to make the game more stable and to reduce the crashing is I've actually disabled MIP maps. So the thing that lets textures be lower resolution at a distance, which is actually causing problems, I've disabled that, which means that Unity now doesn't have a bunch of variations or a bunch of duplicate textures floating around in memory. And it also means that now we're not getting a bunch of spots filled up, which means the loading is much faster, and it's way less likely that your memory is going to get fragmented, which has made a huge difference in crashing. And I've been trying to get certain areas to crash. I know which areas are less stable in the current build. Oh, I've saved the girl. And so far, I haven't been able to get those areas to crash in the version that I'm working on right now. So the game is extremely stable right now. And that also means because I've removed MIP mapping, I have more space available. So certain textures are higher resolution now, and the game is just faster in terms of frame rate, and it's much more stable. The loading's much faster. So. Thanks for saving me! But I don't sound like a good 16-year-old girl, do I? I'm scared I'll wait here till my dad finds me. Right? I forgot where the flashlight is. I'm just gonna wander around some more. Oh, no. I played Custard's. Of course we've all played Custard's Revenge. Of course we have. Bit of coffee? Yeah, in Undertakers, the only issue is talking to Oxa before you save her. So oh man, did I talk to her after I grabbed the rope, or did I just grab the rope? I don't remember. I was busy chatting about whatever. But there's again, like Galaxy Bound Curse, there's a lot of lore that you can find in Undertakers just by wandering around and seeing things and talking to all the different characters. Like in all the other games in the series, there's no such thing as an NPC. Every single character, even if they have a couple lines of dialogue, they're just sitting around, standing around town, talking about pancakes. Every single NPC is written with so much backstory and depth that if I wanted to make an entire game about that character, I could. So there's no such thing as an NPC. Oh, cool. What is this here? There are action figures of Justice Man and the Warriors of Freedom. Justice Man, Warwolf Man, Robot Tor, Chainsaw Chief. Oh man, this text is going too fast. No one in their right mind would have dropped these figurines. These aren't mine, so I should leave them where they are. Yeah, I better double check the duration which text is being displayed. It's too fast. Okay. There's a crumpled notebook on the ground. It is covered in blood. The pages cannot be read. The numbers 1964 can barely be seen beneath the thick. Trying to wipe the pages clean only covers my hands with a cold red mess. Will my hands ever be clean again? That got dark really fast. Oh, hey, can you help me? So while it seems like the Undertakers are kind of an inconvenience for you, they can actually help you find the kids that have gone missing. So, oh, that was very helpful. So that Undertaker actually brought me to the pit on the bottom screen. You can't see the bottom screen. He brought me to the pit that has the flashlight, and you need the flashlight. So I'm actually happy that Undertaker grabbed me just then. Uh, yeah, I grew up playing point and click adventures. There's, you know what? One day I might do a point and click adventure for Silver Falls because man, I love those kind of games as well. If I did a game like that personally, I would uh, want to figure out a way to create a game that actually runs on older computers. That would be so cool. I think I would like that very much. It would be really fun. And then again, you evoke that sense because people can boot up a virtual machine of an old operating system. They can run the game, in an old operating system, and it really puts you in that mindset of that era. And I think it's really cool for storytelling. No, actually, I've never speed run a game. No one's seen that. I mean, I'm sort of speed running this a little bit. Of course, I'm just chatting and hanging out with you guys. Um, I don't know if someone would want me to speed run it. I know people have found ways, like in Three Downstars, people have found ways to speed run that. They can sort of do tricks to glitch past boundaries. They can duplicate certain items, and that's really cool. Oh no! He's got the bow. Dang! I want the flashlight. Hello, hello, kid. It's late already. You can borrow the bow if you want. Be careful out there, I heard a strange noise. Has anyone played, is it Indiana Jones where you need a second controller and then that controls the inventory? That's a really cool solution. And if you didn't have the manual for that game, you wouldn't know. I actually think I had that Indiana Jones game, but it was one where um, the cartridge got like messed up or ruined, so it probably just had like masking tape on it with a permanent marker that said Indiana Jones. Yeah, Windows 98. That'd be rad. A special feature in your upcoming game is Animele. um, I'm a big fan of fighting games as well, especially ones where you feel like you're really good at it, like Tekken, and then your cousin comes over and they've never even played Tekken 3 before, and then they just start mashing buttons and they beat you, like they beat your best character. I love fighting games like that. So I wanted something that just be chaotic neutral. I wanted to make a fighting game like people can just pick up and have a lot of fun with. Um, and I'd never seen a fighting game that sort of leans into the sort of unique qualities that animals have. So yeah, Animele was just a chance to go ballistic and do something funny. But I am actually planning on bringing Animele to the Switch. Uh, I think there's going to be 4 or 5 new animals added to the existing roster. Rolling Adventure Issue 3. I know this one. This is one of my favorite issues in the whole series. Oh. Oh, who's this guy? Talk to me, guy. There is a kid that I'm looking for. I was driving down the road when I heard a loud sound and saw a flash of light. What do you suppose it was? Maybe it was a fire or explosion. Other kids. Yeah, I currently don't have plans to do a retro point and click, but there's room for it in the future. Yeah, I love those mystery games and everything. Ah, is this the kid I'm looking for? Okay, I'm on the bottom screen. I saw something weird in the darkness. I'm scared. Please bring me flashlight so I can see. Okay, give this kid a flashlight. Take that. Thank you. You saved me. Is what a 14-year-old boy sounds like. You saved me. Okay, cool. Oh, fell in the bloody hole again. Here we go. Climb out. Xbox consoles do support mouse and keyboard. Switch has its pointer, so there's that. You're right. You're right. I wonder what happens if you plug a mouse into a Switch. Is there a way that you can get like mouse compatibility? I wonder. Switch has USB ports, you know. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna let him take. Oh, this one's the giant one. Yikes! I'll see where he takes me. He just ran past his mate there. Okay. Oh no, the big one sucks. There's nothing in here. Big one brings you to nowhere. Yeah, when I was a kid, I really liked using. Let's see where this guy takes me. I really liked using RPG Maker, so of course I went online and I looked for any kind of different game makers. There were point-and-click makers. There were strategy strategy RPG makers, adventure makers. There was all sorts of stuff. It was really cool. Fun intestines. Ooh, switches do detect some keyboards. See, if I did a point-and-click adventure, take me away, friend, take me for a ride. If I do one of those, I would want to use a keyboard and mouse, you know, because that's the full experience. Oh, I need to get a... I need help to walk, leg broken. I don't know why I wrote it like that. I'm genuinely surprised. I'm sorry, I made myself laugh. You know, whenever you've like broken your hand and you've gone up to another kid and you're like, hand broken, hand broken. I talk to him again. He says, leg broken. I don't know why I wrote it like that. There's plenty of space to fit a full sentence in there. Okay. Okay, so we've got a pretty good, let's see where this guy takes me. Take me away, friend. Take me for a ride. Okay, he's, oh! Ooh, this is a sad, okay, this is a sad hole. But this is the right one. So the Undertaker brought me to a hole that's actually quite useful. This hole has the crutch that I need to give to the other kid. So that was actually a really helpful Undertaker. His head is no longer attached. His eyes are staring directly at me. It's almost as if he is asking, why didn't you save me? Yikes. Okay, thanks for the key item that I needed. See ya. Alright. Huh. I think I'll look into that. Any sort of mouse compatibility on the Switch. That would be rad. Okay, so that Undertaker was super useful. He helped me find the key item that I needed. So it actually is... yeah, you know, it's sort of like a misleading where you think, oh, you have to avoid the Undertakers, but actually they do help you beat the game. So, is it this hole? Is this kit? Oh no, this is the wrong hole. Okay, I gotta look around. Yeah, of course, yeah, some kids talk like that. That's just how they form sentences. Okay, oh man, where's the other hole? I gotta get, was it around, is this guy gonna bring me to the hole with the kid? Let's see here. Oh no, dang. Dang, it's the same hole. I've got the crutch. Ah, see, this is where I need my Happy Meal wrapper, where I comes with crayons, and then I can draw a map on the back of the crayons. Where was he? I'm trying to remember now. Was he up? Oh, I'm barely paying attention because I'm chatting with you guys. What's this say? Oh, oops. Ooh, this one's sad. I don't want to read the sad ones. No, there was a kid up here. I already saved the kid that's up here. That's the bar. Crap. Where's the other one? Ah, I wasn't really paying attention. That's the one I came from. I should have paid attention more, huh? I'm gonna go left. I'm gonna go left some more. Was it an Undertaker that brought me to the one down there? There's the game notes feature on 3DS. Yeah, there is that. You know what? I often forget about that because the 3DS does let you multitask with the notes. But the Wii U version, I'm still adding a map to that. So if you play this on Wii U, then it should be. No, no, no! I didn't want to be taken by this one. Ah, oh, man, that one sucked. Just put me in the hole. Undertakers giveth, and Undertakers taketh away. Crap. Oh, I have to walk around and avoid this guy. Where's he taking me? Where are you taking me? Oh, I already saved this kid. Okay. Anyway, I'll go to game B. I'll show you some of game B now. So, yeah, that's enough of story mode. You're just meant to sort of vibe with that game, and you take your time, you play it however you want, you know. I'll just restart it, and I'll have some coffee. It's closing. I don't know if it's sort of freaking out here. It's not good at screen recording. Yeah, what you have to do is you sort of figure out where the Undertakers sort of lurk, and then you just walk around them. What I needed to go was stay kind of north, and then go west, and then when you get to the boundary of that, you walk down along the fence line. Oh, really? Fortnite and Overwatch have mouse and keyboard support. Ooh, good research. Nice one. Okay, so if I do one of those point and click games in the future, I'll definitely include mouse and keyboard. Okay, I'm going to game B now. Let's play some game B. Okay, so game B is quite different from game A, of course. Oh, the frame rate's quite rough. It's like the screen recording software is causing slowdown. Okay. So I super enjoy game B. There's a lot of depth to it in terms of collecting skills and whatnot, but I didn't want to go overboard with the RPG elements in game B. So you can actually use the face button. You can see that I'm shooting in different directions now in game B. And then you have a bunch of items. You see, I've got first aid there, and then I have a stick. So you might think, like, what's the point of a stick? Obviously, a stick wouldn't be a very good weapon, but if you line up the stick with the campfire, it turns into a torch, and that does a lot more damage than a gun, whereas the gun has more range. If I grab the stick, throw it to the fire, oh crap, oh no. See, your placement is really important, because if they catch you on the wrong side, that's going to be problematic. Oh, I forgot. So on the bottom screen, there's giant Undertakers that are climbing up through the pit on the bottom screen. So you actually have to touch the bottom screen as well to knock the giant Undertakers down. Otherwise, they climb up the pit, and they're problematic to deal with. As you can see, I got swarmed there. And of course, the game runs very smoothly when it's not doing the recording. When it's recording, the frame rate seems to be pretty choppy. So that's that. When you defeat enough Undertakers, you can get skill comics, and then as you collect more pages for your skill comics, it increases your skill, so you can get like speed up, you can get attack speed up, you can get power up. Yeah, I forgot how much I actually really like game B mode. So I'll switch to Willy Belgrade. Let's see what Willy says. There are some big scary animals out there. We need to be careful. And you can, get a feel for your character's personalities. You can just keep talking to them. Aren't you scared, Bull? I want to go home now. No, Willy, you got to go kill some Undertakers. Yeah, it's a cassette. It is. Actually, one of the things in one of the regions we were trying to publish the game, we had a problem because we referenced the tape cassette, and then we weren't allowed to do that because it may confuse people who think that the game runs on a tape cassette, and so they told us to change it, which is a bummer. Okay, so the reason why Willy's so good is he can leave this candle on the ground, and you can see how it stays on the ground, so it's really good for spacing. Because if they touch the campfire, they take damage as well. So Willy's really good at controlling space. He's a really interesting character in that way. But the problem is I'm talking instead of properly playing. Like game B mode takes a lot of focus. It's gonna be hard to play game B while while streaming. And he has a slingshot, which is like a rapid fire weapon. So Willy is an extremely different character from Bull, because Bull is quite a bit slower, but Bull's damage output is higher. Willy's a fast character who controls space, and so far of anyone that sort of talked about their high score, it's been with Willie. If you beat the game, you can unlock Fred, and he's got a shotgun, which makes it easier to deal with crowds. Okay, Willie Belgrade. Got my Wii U yesterday, and just waiting on your game's release date. Birdman, awesome! Cool, what games have you got for it, Birdman? I love the Wii U, clearly. Is the aiming using the nub on N3DS? It's the face buttons, Jason. So the X, Y, A, and B are how you shoot in different directions. Yeah, and then every character has different loadouts. As you can see, there's a bunch of characters you can get, and in the update, I'm adding extra content, extra weapons. There will be more characters that you can unlock with the upcoming games. And also the novel Heavy Shadow. If you're into reading, you can read Heavy Shadow from Silver Falls game if you haven't seen it yet. When I do sell the paperback, it will have a code linking system that will connect with Undertakers, and it will actually add a new character as well. And in terms of the story, it also has a pretty big story reveal when you connect the novel to Undertakers. So I think that's going to be interesting for people to try. I'll try being Bull again, but it's pretty rough because the recording software makes the frame rate pretty choppy. We'll try again. We'll try again. I kind of wish I had some other characters unlocked. So actually, Galaxy Bound Curse, which is on the Game Boy, I'm going to start with the stick. So Galaxy Bound Curse, if you connect that with Undertakers through the code linker system, you will get a duck, and the duck, you have to grab them. You'll start finding them. They'll show up in this mode. If you grab the duck, he'll start helping you, and then he'll follow you, and he has a hitbox that's always active. So if there's any enemies that try to flank you, and you've got a duck with you, the duck will actually knock the Undertakers back. So if you do play Undertakers, I highly recommend that you download Galaxy Bound Curse for free. You can emulate it on whatever system you want, and use Code Linker to connect Galaxy Bound Curse to Undertakers, because the duck makes a huge difference in Game B mode. Because if I had the duck just then, I wouldn't have gotten flanked. You know, the duck would have helped me. I'm gonna be Willie again. I got Breath of the Wild. Yes, Pokken Tournament, nice. I'm thinking of getting Xenoblade X. Oh, Xenoblade is gorgeous. Yeah, you have an American Wii U and recently got a Japanese Wii U to experiment with. Now I just need to get a gamepad to work with a Japanese one. Have you got like an extra gamepad to use it? So I'll show you how fast the bullets come out of bullets. You know how your slingshot shoots bullets, but you have to. It's a game of constantly retreating with the slingshot. Like, you can eventually kill them, but this is why skills are important. Because I'm not playing properly. I'm busy talking, of course. But once you beat enough Undertakers, you can start earning skill comics, and that's when you can make Willie very powerful. Because when you start increasing your power skill comic, then your damage output gets much higher, and then you can kill things with the slingshot much faster, and it makes it easier to catch all the Undertakers in a bottleneck, and then you can kill them with the slingshot really fast. And then if you connect with Galaxy Bound Curse and you have the duck, it'll save you from getting flanked as well. So there's a huge amount of strategy in terms of spacing and the weapons that you get as well. And have I thought about putting Galaxy Bound Curse on Switch? Yes. So, well, this will be a secret between all of us now, is after I get these 7 games launched on the Wii U and 3DS, I'm actually going to do a remake of Galaxy Bound Curse on the Switch. And so it's going to have the same visual style as Galaxy Bound Curse on the Game Boy, but it'll have more colors, and it will be up to, well, I'm looking at running some tests first, but I would like it to be minimum 2 players for story mode. But ideally, it would be up to 3 players, because the original game was balanced to have a pet and a human character. So you have 2 characters in the Game Boy version. So on the Switch version, I would like it to have up to 4 people, but if I did that, I would have to redo all of the game environments from scratch to make them bigger. So I may just make it up to 3 playable characters for the Switch version, but it'll be called Galaxy Bound Curse XD. And yeah, yeah. What I really want to streamline, because what's difficult, making Galaxy Bound Curse for the Game Boy was quite difficult for me because I'd never made a Game Boy game before. So the item menus are quite slow and clunky, and that's something that I have improved that quite a fair bit in updates. And I am still updating Galaxy Bound Curse. Um, but if I remake it from scratch again, it would be in Unity, and then I can have very fast, very streamlined menus. I could have much better life bars, special meter bars, and I could have better UI elements. And again, the shops and menus would be much better when I do the remake. So I'm hoping I can get that out later this year. So it would be before the end of the year. I would like to have Galaxy Bound Curse on the Switch. I'm paying attention to the bottom screen this time. So I have to tap that Undertaker. Or if you have like a kid brother, you can have your kid brother watch the touch screen, and they can fight off the bottom screen Undertakers while you manage the enemies on the top screen. I don't know, like a cousin. If you got a kid cousin that can do the, oh no, I wasn't paying enough attention. Ah no, he got out. Big Undertaker got out. Dang. See, the problem with the candle, you have to play around the campfires, because you see this candle doesn't do a lot of damage. It's just knocking the Undertakers back, so it's more a defensive tool. But if you connect with Code Linker for some of the other games in the series, it'll add more campfires to this area. Okay. See, like I haven't even killed a single one yet. I don't even have any points. But I will... it might have to be in an update because my hands are really full with all the games. But Undertakers on the Wii U, I want Game B to have a 2-player mode as well. Okay. Yeah, Steven, yeah. And it's quite difficult with Galaxy Bound Curse because I don't... I used GB Studio, which is awesome. It's so cool if you want to make your own Game Boy games. It's really easy. It's like a drag and drop thing. But what I was doing, I'm programming whole systems that aren't part of GB Studio. So Galaxy Bound Curse does a lot that GB Studio wasn't meant to do. And it's getting stuck in a lot of places, and I don't have full control over that, which is why I really want to remake it and put it on the Switch. But again, I'm still updating Galaxy Bound Curse to fix those glitches so that it runs as good as it can. I'm gonna leave here. I'm leaving. So for Galaxy Bound Curse DX, the multiplayer would be local. It wouldn't have online multiplayer because I do not have enough experience with online multiplayer. And that's something that you really need an expert working with you on. And that's one aspect where if you do not have an expert with you on your team working on online multiplayer, it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad if you try and duct tape that together and you're not an expert at it. Galaxy Bound Curse works on all Game Boy models. Works on original Game Boy, and it works on Game Boy Color. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for mentioning those. Yeah. Actually, it'd be really helpful if you sort of sent a DM or message, and if you just sent a screenshot of the areas where you get to a spot where like movement stops working, it would be extremely useful. And what's so difficult, because Galaxy Bound Curse, it uses a lot of complex custom code that GB Studio wasn't designed to do. For every single map of the game, I actually had to reprogram the entire combat system, the health system, the weapon system. I have to reprogram everything for every single screen in Galaxy Bound Curse, and that's why it's so difficult to manage. And GB Studio wasn't really built for that kind of thing, so I'm pushing it to do way more than GB Studio was meant to do. And that's why there's a couple glitches. So when I make it in Unity, it's going to be a lot easier to develop, and it's not going to have the glitches of the original. You can share code link with a friend, and that's the reason why I created the code link system. Is you're not required to own a game if you want. If your friend has a Silver Falls game and you don't really like that one and you don't want to buy it, but your friend has it, your friend can create unlock codes for you, and then you can still get the content unlocked. Yeah. So otherwise, you enter a state. Otherwise, then it just becomes paid DLC, and then I don't want to force people to keep buying more DLC for every game. That's not the kind of relationship I want to have with the people that are supporting Silver Falls. So this is, if you buy a Silver Falls game, it's permanently for every future game. It's going to unlock stuff in the future games. Oh, you injected Galaxy Bound Curse onto the 3DS Virtual Console. That's awesome. How cool. Okay, cool. Excellent. Loading is a lot slower right now because of the recording software. Yeah, it's a bit slower. Otherwise, it loads much faster than this. All right, we're all waiting for this thing to load up. I'll show you some of how I've been working on Silver Falls 3 Downstars. So again, yeah, I've just been working my butt off because I have to focus on the titles that are in development, and then when there's a couple minutes of downtime, I have to focus on working on this update as well for 3 Downstars. So there is a downside to this update in 3 Downstars, and that's the loading screen messages. Some of them now, because loading is much faster, you won't have enough time to read some of the lore that comes up on the loading screen. So the loading screen comes up on the bottom screen, so it's not showing up there. I know that people enjoy the lore that comes up during the loading screen, but with the update, loading is much faster. So I guess, just learn to read really fast, learn speed reading if you don't want to miss out on the lore that comes up there. And it's slow right now, of course, because the recording software causes everything to be a bit slower. So I'm not sure. I suspect the frame rate will be quite bad because we're screen recording. So just going to Frontier Fighters mode, and then we'll see what it looks like. Oh, thank you, Stephen. And look, my priority is I'm a gamer just like everyone else, and I feel betrayed by a lot of game companies, and it's such a bummer when you've been supporting these companies for years and you've been spending your money. When you're a kid, you're spending your parents' money, but as an adult, you're spending your money on their games, and it feels like we're being betrayed by a lot of companies that are taking our trust for granted, and it's really not, it's not cool, is it? So I want to be the opposite of that with my games. So the frame rate is decent, but what's happening is, so sometimes when I boot up a game, when I'm testing, sometimes it'll just ignore the right analog stick, sorry, the C nub, and I'll have to restart. But for starters, you can see, so you can see like the watch that's hanging from Holt's leg is now quite reflective, and his headphones are now not reflective, they're sort of specular. They're quite shiny. Let's see. The radio is shiny as well. I'm going to restart the game, and then that should fix the problem. This isn't a glitch that occurs on like the retail version of the game. Just during testing, sometimes when I boot it up on this hardware, it'll ignore the analog stick. So I'll start it again. Actually, I'm going to see if Soldier gave me anything, because Soldier will sometimes bring pretty important items. Okay, he's a bit clingy. All right, sorry everyone. I'll restart this so I can get the C nub working. So I'll have to close the game and open it again. Yeah, I have done that. I've taken pictures of the lore with my phone. I have done that, just to read it. You use the new Super Ultimate Injector for Windows to create a custom CIA to install. Oh, that's awesome. How cool. I've got a strange question. What's your favorite game of all time? It's gonna be tough, because there's a couple that really fight for that spot, Spicy Marsh. It's probably going to be Final Fantasy VII on the PlayStation. It's tough because I have a really strong attachment to Ocarina of Time as well, and then I also have a strong attachment to Breath of Fire for Super Nintendo. So it's really those three games are they're constantly fighting each other for first place for me, for my favorite game of all time. Yeah, I appreciate you guys supporting the games. Um, it's tough as an indie dev, you know. It's hard to um, to sort of compete because big companies have budgets and they can produce their own game engines. They can put a lot more, you know, flash into their presentation. So as an indie developer, I know that I'm punching up against massive companies, and I can only do my best. You know, I do the best that I can. But my focus is also improving myself as a developer so that my next games can be even better than the ones that I've done before. You know, and that's all you can do. Uh, but it is sometimes intimidating as I'm submitting a game and I'm going through the process, and you get excited because you finished the game, you're getting ready to submit it, and then I sort of think, oh no, my game is competing with all these companies, it's competing with Capcom and this and that, and it's very intimidating, you know. And sometimes I feel really nervous as I'm you know setting up the digital store for my game, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm competing against the big companies here, you know, and it's tough, but you just gotta stick with it. You gotta do what's within your capability and just do your best, you know. That's all you can do. I wish this loaded faster. But overall, actually, this the new update, it's going to load crazy fast. So people that are familiar with Three Downstars, the versions that's out now and that's been out in the past, they're going to notice the loading times are much faster now. Yeah. Spicy Marsh, what is your favorite game of all time? I'm going to Frontier Hunters mode, or Frontier Fighters, yeah. Do you plan on putting out a physical game eventually? Absolutely. I would love to, but that takes a lot of money. You have to order the physical copies, and you have to pay to get those done. And so far, we haven't earned enough to order physical stuff like that. But I'm hoping with these 7 titles that are launching, I'm hoping that we'll earn enough so that for our future titles, we can offer both physical and digital. Yeah. Yeah, Stephen, I I don't try to think of myself as any particular type of developer. Like when we were younger, uh, we didn't have the term indie developer or you know game developers were just the people that made games. I mean, we called them game makers. You know, they made games, um, and it's you know I don't want to call myself a any kind of developer because I don't want to sort of pigeonhole myself into any type of game, and that's why I try to make all sorts of different games as well, you know. Um, and it's really tough to make a 3D game because then you're punching up against big competition. It is really tough to make a 3D game and to make the presentation good. And the indie developers who have done stylized 3D games that you know stuff can look really incredible. Okay, so I think what's happening is the recording software is really conflicting with the game, and it's actually making the C stick not work. That's super annoying, isn't it? I'll figure out something. I'll figure out a way to work, but it looks like the hardware's just struggling to do the recording and run the game at the same time. Oh, I can turn the camera by running. Cool, 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 cool. I'll just do that. I'll do that. So I'll show you here. You can see the gold here is now that's shiny as well. Whereas in the current versions of Three Down Stars, that all the textures and materials were quite flat. We didn't have shiny reflective or specular objects. That should be the word that's more accurate. Let's see. I haven't unlocked any of the characters because this is a fresh save file. You can see the vending machines are now specular as well. The table legs are specular, so the game overall has a much more vibrant look that really pops, because now objects that are metal will be specular and they'll look more interesting. Oh, thanks, Stephen. Yeah, I'm 100% hyper aware of what goes wrong with series, because I like all the same game series that you guys like, and I know that it's a problem after a few years when you get, you know, Silver Falls 2, Silver Falls 3, Silver Falls Code Veronica X, you know, and all of a sudden the games start feeling too samey, and then people get mad at you because now all your games feel the same, and so you try to do something different, and then people get mad at you because now you've done something too different. So that was my promise to everyone when I early on, you know, people were asking about the series when I first started talking about it, was every game is going to be different and play differently in some way, you know, and that way, hopefully, I can still be making these games years and years from now, and I'll still have fresh ideas, and I'll have different gameplay styles, and you know, maybe eventually we will have a dating simulator where you can close the two screens and make two characters smooch each other. Hopefully, we can have that one day, and then we can all be excited about that together. You know, I am kidding about that. That'd be so weird. I mean, obviously, I'm not bashing dating sims. I think they're really cool. Um, it's just I'm making fun of the fact that Silver Falls characters in a dating sim, just making anyone smooch would be really funny. How many games are on the eShop right now? 3. And they're all actually have updates, major updates coming to all of them. So we have 3 Downstars, which I'm showing right now. We have Undertakers, which is on every 3DS model, and then on the Switch we have Episode Prelude. And then that version, unfortunately, that version of Episode Prelude, I had to use a version of Unity, which is the software that we use. I had to use a version that was super broken, and there's a bunch of weird glitches there. And luckily, I was able. Unity has rolled out a version that fixes those problems. So the upcoming update to Episode Prelude fixes a few things, and I'm adding a bunch more content and some stuff to act like a radiation meter that helps you track down key items and whatnot. So the overall game is going to see some big improvements in Episode Prelude on the Switch. Oh, Persona 4 Golden. No, I haven't got to play a lot of Persona 4, but oh man, that's great. I'm a pretty big fan of Persona 3. I played a lot of Persona 3. Binding of Isaac, Super Mario World. Nice. It's tough to say, you know, like, oh, I've got one favorite, because there's so many games out, you know. How are you supposed to pick just the one? So if you skipped the training mode in 3 Downstars, there's a training mode. It'll teach you some advanced techniques. So what I'm doing is the reversal attack. If you tap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. So if you're holding down on the control stick and you tap B twice, your character will do a quick turn. And then if you attack during the quick turn, you'll do that move. It's actually really powerful. And then you can get skills that boost the power of your reversal attack. So you can do way more damage with that move. So quite like that move. And then there's your rolling attack as well. So if you dodge roll and then if you dodge roll and then attack out of it, you get, oh, hold on. You dodge roll. Oh, no, sorry. Okay, now it's ignoring my ZR button, so this is fun. So looks like the screen recorder is doing funny stuff. I can't dodge now. Anyway, I'm gonna run to the end. So that there are missions in Frontier Hunters, Frontier Fighters. In case you guys haven't played it much, or you haven't sort of figured out, I've created Frontier Fighters in a way where there's certain missions where the end goal is literally a couple feet from you. So you're actually allowed to just cheese that mission. So as soon as you start, you can actually hit the goal, and then you can just cheese that again and again, and then it'll give you reward weapons. So you return to camp, and then it'll instantly give you a reward. I purposefully put that in there. That's not an exploit, because I'm a gamer, so I love when you can cheese a system and then keep getting rewards. So I thought this is a good way. We're all grown-ups, you know, and we all have jobs and stuff. So I thought I'll give you a mission where you can just keep starting it and then instantly ending it, and then you can get rewards. So that's like a way to quickly build up weapons. You can sell those weapons, you can upgrade them, do whatever you want with them, yeah. Yeah, Silverfall's Code Veronica X. Make a Smash Bros. Game, but for Silver Falls characters. I'm not going to say no to that. Big Smash fan, you know. I'm all about. I'm a Princess Zelda and Ice Climbers guy. Also Toon Link, and Simon Belmont. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Something about. I mean, because I when I was a teenager and I got my first car, I was always going on road trips, and I loved moments where you're driving down long, lonely roads, and you've got your silent. I burned tons of CDs with the Silent Hill soundtrack, so I'd be blasting Silent Hill music. I'm driving down a road, I'm out in the mountains in the middle of nowhere, and there's just fog everywhere, you know. And sometimes I'll just stop. I'll pull over to the side of the road, and I'll get out, and it's like you just enjoy the moment. You think, yeah, this is rad. This is like Silent Hill, and then you remember that there's monsters in Silent Hill, and then you get back in your car, you know. Do you make all of the art? Yeah, Fred for Smash. uh, I'll take any character in Smash. Honestly, I'll take Maverick. I'll take Soldier. I'll take Holt. I'll take Fred. Anyone. Put them in Smash, please. Um, uh, do you make all of the art? So all of the character models, all the character designs, any sort of 2D texture, I do all of those myself. And then things like for very general things like rocks and trees, I'll buy them off artists who specialize in doing that. Because if I tried to make this tree, it would take me like 3 months and it would look horrible. So I mentioned in a video before, as an indie developer, you really have to understand what your personal limitations are. And there are going to be moments where it's really important where you'll have to either contract artists or buy work that other artists have made if you want to produce something that's going to be reasonable. So, like for example, like these trees and these bushes, these are from Speed Tree, and they're a big company that specializes in creating um, nice-looking foliage that's meant to work well in Unity. But anything that's bespoke, like cool, unique weapons, all the character designs, like the pattern on Holt's jacket, any of that stuff, all the characters I do myself. Yeah. Um, every single item, like I'll do a video that shows high resolution versions. Oh, I could show you guys now if you want. Any packaging, like any food products, any weapons, all of that stuff. They're all blurry in 3 Downstars, but I have extremely high resolution versions of all of that stuff. All of that stuff I've made myself, and I've spent months and months creating all of the packaging for different food products, all the ammunition products, anything that's like that I've made myself, yeah. Oh yeah, let's see what I get. Yum, 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 yum. Give me something good, please. What is it? It is a skill link. Cool. Ah, okay. So if anyone hasn't played 3 Downstars yet, I'll show you the skill board. And then of course my C stick is not working properly. So I'll change. Ah, it's on the bottom screen. Of course it is. Ah, I'll work out a way to get the bottom screen on there. But you get different shaped links and you put them on the chessboard and you have to act. It's a puzzle, you know. And there, people have messaged and they've said, "Man, I've I've spent a crazy amount of time in Frontier Fighters, and you know, they say, I spent hours just looking at the skill board, figuring out how to get all the skills unlocked." And that's the kind of thing, that's the kind of game I enjoy playing, you know. So that's why I put a lot of thought into these skill systems, because I love that. It's fun. You get to, and then you get a sense of reward because you're trying to solve this puzzle. And then if you think of a good solution, your character now has access to more skills because you've thought of a solution. And then you take it into a mission, your character's stronger, you're able to complete missions faster now, and then you get more skill links from the mission. So to me, that's the kind of game I like. I think it's a lot of fun. You ever play Shining Force 3 on the Saturn? I haven't. Should I check it out? I've played the older Shining Forces. Maybe an assist trophy, perhaps. I'll take Silver Falls as an assist trophy. I'll take that. Even if it's Soldier that pops up and then he's throwing items out of his item bag, sure, I'll take that. I'm happy with that. Hi, Grizdismation? To me, the most important thing is what's the game going to be like when someone's playing it. That's the absolute most important thing. And when I'm testing it, if I'm bored testing it, then I rethink the whole system and I think, what can I do to make sure this isn't boring? And of course, every player's different. You know, everyone enjoys different kinds of games. So something that I think is very fun may be boring to someone, and then something that's boring to someone would be very fun for me. You know, so really, I can really only create the kind of game that I think is fun, that I think other people would enjoy. Because I know there's going to be people that enjoy the same kind of games I like. So there's actually a guy back here, the mechanic. If you have these trading cards, you can talk to him, and he'll give you some nice stuff. Delightful. This will make a fine addition to my collection. All right. Give me them items. Yum, yum. What's in here, please? Take cattle prod. Yeah, nice. I have a genuine reaction of excitement. So the skill that's attached to the cattle prod, I've got the cattle prod now. The skill that's attached lets you switch your weapons faster. So now if I select my stick, and of course the loading is quite slow right now because of the recording software, but he will switch his weapons faster now that he has that swift switch. It's slow right now, of course. Cattle prod's pretty rad. Let's see here. So it's quite weak. It doesn't have a lot of knockback, but you can see it triggers the special attack prompt. So see if I were to use, let's see, I'll use my wooden stick here, right? This game, 3 Downstars, is new exclusive. Yeah, correct. And then for the upcoming games, there's only one that's 3DS exclusive, and then the rest of them will work on all models. So see, with the stick, I have to hit it twice before the special attack prompt comes up, and then with enemies, of course, you'll have to hit them a bunch of times. Whereas if you use the cattle prod, it's at least more than twice as effective as a stick. See, if I hit it once, oh right, no, never mind. Well, it's somewhat more effective, but this kick did a ton of damage. And then Holt, his skill board is quite geared towards melee combat. So, well, I don't want to bore you guys by fiddling on the touchscreen because you can't see it. Actually, well, you know what? I'll do that. He did 85 with his kick, right? Let me see if I can activate his skill for special attacks. So I'll go change skills on the skill board. Boost power of special attacks by 25%. I'll just put on a basic thing. Cool. All right, and sorry I couldn't show you, it's on the bottom screen there. So I'm going to go back. I can't rotate the camera because the recording software has messed up my analog, my C stick for some reason. So if I do my special attack on this guy here, it was doing 85 before, wasn't it? Yeah. So let's see how much it does now. Okay, I'll hit A to hit it. It did 100 and, camera moved. It was 100 and something. So you can see your skills make a huge difference as well. I'll hit A. So it's doing 105 now instead of 85. So it's important to use the skills because once you go into the harder difficulties, enemies get really brutal. When does Gold Falls or Iron Falls come out? We'll see. If I need to do like a spin-off series, then yeah, we'll do Gold Falls and Iron Falls and Copper Falls. Yeah. I'm waiting to play more of the story of 3DS before I play Frontier Fighters. Cool, cool. Playing Shining Force 3 on the Saturn got me into turn-based RPG. There's 3 parts. Oh, I'm going to look them up. I've never played them on the Saturn. I didn't have a Saturn for very long. Oh, yeah, you're welcome. Jerk Store MVP. Yeah. I love the game so much I bought part 3 in Japan and beat the game without understanding one word in the game. So, I used to play a ton of Japanese RPGs when emulation was really picking up steam in the early 2000s. And then we started finding out that there were games on the Super Nintendo that we had never heard of before. That was very exciting. So I would download absolutely any RPG that I could find, and then I would play it on, you know, uh, Z-SNES. Yeah, it was fun. Actually, I'll just speed run this, and then I'll get another weapon as a reward. Yeah, I'll just do that real quick. So, yeah, I played a ton of RPGs that I couldn't understand a word. I played a lot of the Dragon Ball Z RPG on the Super Nintendo. That was pretty rad. I couldn't understand a single word, and I played I played the whole way through that. That game was cool. I'll read this lore here. Local baseball team, the Silver Falls Sluggers, once won a game by hitting 18 home runs. The team performed so well, they were said to have the rest of the season already won. Their next game going against the Irishtown Peelers. Sorry. The Irishtown Peelers was, oh no, I didn't get to read the rest. I made a baseball team called the Irishtown Peelers. Yeah, well, the early 2000s, it was exciting to be able to play a video game on the computer, play like a Super Nintendo game on the computer, and that was really exciting. Cool, waiting for these loading screens. So rad, so rad. Yeah, Lunar Nights. There is a good ending and a bad ending. So, I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for you, but I'll just give you a small tip that if you want to get the good ending and then unlock Maverick as a playable character, um, then you want to make sure to Holt finds a stop sign um, at some point. Uh-oh. Oh no, I don't want to use my emergency. That's my cattle prod. So when Holt finds a stop sign weapon, you'll want to make sure you figure out where to put that before continuing on with the game, or else you'll get the bad ending. So that's just a small tip. Just save you a bit of time, because if you get to the bad ending, you'll have to start a new game in order to get the good ending again. Yeah. Oh, look at that massive pop-in. So I'll adjust that so the pop-in doesn't happen until later, of course. Yay. But if I wasn't screen recording, the hardware is now running this mode uh, way better than it's ever run in the past. The frame rate is hugely improved over any previous version of 3 Downstars. I played the older Shining Forces on Mega Drive, Genesis. Yeah. I actually was running out of space on the SD card, otherwise I would show more of the titles as well. I once started didn't kill any enemies. Okay, let's see. Ironically, the old church in Silver Falls is the only local building known to have burned down in a fire. Buildings made from local timber have a reputation of being particularly fire resistant. The Allagash Lumber Company keeps a tight grip on the lumber industry in town, ensuring overlogging never threatens the safety and health of the ecology of Silver Falls forests. In episode Prelude, are there more lasers to find, or do I replay story mode and go through the same spot to get another laser? So the lasers are in different places. Yeah. Um, they're there's ones in the desert house area. Um, I think there's one in the house as well. I think if there's a key you find outside, and then you use the key inside the desert house, and it opens like a box in there. And I think there's a laser sight in there. There should be maybe at least one when you get to Million's garage, and then in the outdoor section, in the mountain section, there's a bunch. I scattered laser sights a bunch, so there's a bunch around. There are, yeah, a bunch of lasers. There's more. I want to see what item I got here. Cool. What have I got? Give me something good. Ah, boo hiss. I gotta see what's good with at least getting crappy stuff like that is I don't obviously don't want another boring wooden stick, so I'll put it on my emergency weapon. So I don't mind breaking this one as an emergency weapon. Oh, see, here's an example of the new sort of specularity. You see how the sign is, the metal is specular, whereas in the previous versions of Downstars didn't have those graphics. So, yeah. And then, oh, here's, if you hadn't tried it yourself, if you sit for long enough, your character will eventually get a stat boost that will help them in Frontier Fighter. So we can all just sit and relax for a little bit. And in Episode Prelude, thanks for playing Episode Prelude. Yeah, I'll do my best to bring improvements to that. I'll be adding more areas and more playable characters. Yeah, Spiralite, how's it going? Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, the scattered items in Frontier Fighters, you can get a bunch. Like if you go after you beat the game, you can unlock the sound check mode where you can listen to the soundtrack. Oh, see, that's what I was sort of talking about. Is when you sit there. See, I've got a boost to my melee power. Yeah, like the sound check mode. Sometimes it'll spawn a throwing record, so you'll get a final disc, and you can throw those, and that's the only way you can get that item. So you can keep exiting and going back into that mode, and you can keep getting more records. And then there's some epilogues that you can unlock, and those epilogues will have items. If you keep leaving and entering the epilogues, you can keep building up items that you can use in Frontier Fighters. Yeah, so there's a lot of content in Frontier Fighters. So yeah, in Episode Prelude, I'm adding content so that when you connect to the 7 games that are coming out, Episode Prelude will be able to get content from all those games, more playable characters and whatnot, more environments. So those effects stack. You see how I got 2 of those? So that was melee power. If you sit somewhere else, every spot that you can sit will give you a different stat boost. And also, if you go to different epilogues, there's different spots to sit in those epilogues, and those spots will give you different stat boosts as well. So sometimes you'll want to, go to a certain spot and have a seat there because you know that you'll get a stat boost that goes well with your loadout. Yes, I did pick 3 Downstars as the acronym. I actually picked the acronym. I had to come up with an acronym and think of a concept for the story at the same time to make sure it worked. So I actually wrote the story around the acronym as I was able to think it up. Yeah. Let's see what stat boost I get here. Oh, cool, firearms. So if you sit in the other spot, it's melee. If you're a melee-based character, that one's good. But if you rely more on firearms, like Moss is more of a firearms character, this is a good spot for sitting if you are playing as Moss. Since you'll want to rely more on shooting, yeah. Anyway, yeah, is there anything else that you guys wanted to have a look at? Oh, this goes on the bottom screen. Yeah, I haven't unlocked any other characters, unfortunately. Right? Oh, that's for sitting too. Yeah. Oh, that one gives me melee power. There we go, there's a different view. Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about this because I was finally able to address the crashing issues. I I don't know where the tolerance is now to where Unity's memory will fragment and then crash like it has been. But like I said, I've been testing. Like often it'll crash when you leave certain buildings and then go back into town. Crashes will occur pretty consistently there, and I've been testing that. And of course, I haven't tested it for hours, but I've gone back and forth maybe 10, 12 times, and it hasn't crashed, which is a huge improvement over what's been happening recently. How did I come up with the name Bull Brandish? Um, it's kind of funny. A lot of characters I actually came up with on the spot when I was writing lore. So there's around, I think there's around 200 pieces of lore that come up on the loading screen for Frontier fighters. I'll just start a mission and then I'll find some lore. And so I sat down for maybe 2 weeks to come up with all of the lore. So you can't just randomly spit stuff. I'll read this. Uh, when it launched, the Hyper GFX game console was considered to have the most powerful CPU available to consumers. During a serious cyber terrorist attack on Western Frontier banks, an independently hired games studio used more than 40 Hyper GFX consoles to create a constantly adapting security system which the hackers could not break. The processing power allowed the studio to track the physical location. Ah, dang. Ah, okay, so it has crashed. It's crashed now. But part of that has to do with, I know that the running the video streaming software is causing problems. That's freaking the system out a bit right now. Because it wasn't working right. The game wasn't working right the whole time. But to get to your question, how did I come up with the name Bull Brandish? Is I had just written a piece of lore, and I was writing the lore for the Midnight Realm, and the character that I'd written was Bill Brandish, and I thought, what would be a cool, powerful sounding name, like you brandish a weapon, you know? And so I came up with Bill Brandish, and I thought that's really cool. And so I'd written a bunch of lore for the Midnight Realm, which is like a 60s sci-fi television program. How can I get my streaming back? Where'd my... I gotta fix my... can I connect my streaming? And then as I was coming up with the concept for Undertakers, I knew that I wanted it to be related to Bill Brandish, the guy that had created this sci-fi TV show. So I thought it'd be good to have his grandson be the main character for Undertakers, and I thought, you know, it would be cool as if his grandson's name kind of sounded somewhat similar to the grandpa's name. And then I thought, how about instead of Bill, I change one letter and it's Bull, and it just sounds really like that's like a really powerful sounding name. And yeah, that's sort of how I came up with Bull Brandish. This is being real funny here. Huh. Try and exit out of this again. I'll exit that. I'll open this. I was mentioned in a recent Go Nintendo article. Huh. That's kind of cool. You had a friend in high school. His name was Matthew Six Killer. That's so cool. That's extremely cool. Okay, I'm going to see if this will connect. Please work. What was that all about? I'm trying to get this to work here. Why is that? It looks like it doesn't want to go. You used to know a guy named Holden Cox. That guy's he's gonna have to be tough. He's gonna have to stay strong. Oh man, sorry guys. The video streaming stuff is now freaking out. So it crashed my game and then now it won't reconnect. That's kind of annoying, isn't it? It's not reconnecting. Let me see. Can I just... Okay. Let me see if I can fix it real quick. I'll turn my console on and off again. How about that? Yeah, sometimes when I'm coming up with the name for a Silver Falls character, I feel a sense of doubt. Like, I like to come up with cool names, then I think, does this name sound ridiculous? Like, is this name not believable? But then I'll see someone's name in real life, and it's like the coolest, craziest name you've ever heard. And then I think, yeah, if that person can have that name, if that's a real name, then I can use this ridiculous name that, you know, in comparison to a real person's name, the name that I've come up with is pretty normal. Huh. Okay, so it won't let me use this game. That's kind of sucks. Oh. I was trying to open Galaxy Bound Curse and it won't open it. Okay, now it's caused my whole system to freak out. Okay, well... Oh, you thought Bull was native. Well, it's never... it doesn't say that he's not. Alright, well, it's... Oh, whoa, I didn't realize it's almost 2 a.m. for me. So, alright everyone, I'll wrap up the stream. It's been a lot of fun chatting with everyone. So, thanks for hanging out, everyone. I'll figure out something cool for next time. But it's 2 a.m., so I am going to clock out, get some sleep, and then get back to work. So I'll tell you guys a secret since we're all here and we're wrapping things up. I'm trying to get... So you know how Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers is 2 games in 1. It's packaged in. It's got Ruby River packed in, so I can get a lot of variety. I'm actually... There was a game that I was hoping to get included. I want to add it for free either at the end of this year or the start of next year. I wanted to add it in to Deathly Delusion Destroyers as a free game with an update, but I'm not allowed to do that. I'm not allowed to add major content. So what I'm trying to do now is get it completed enough to where I can have a sort of like a preview version of that game built in to Gaiden Deathly Delusion Destroyers. So it wouldn't be like the full game, obviously. It would take a long time. I could probably do it in a few months to really finish that game. I don't have that time. So I'm trying to get a preview version of that game built in. So there's enough in there to where it's like enough of like a third game is built in. So I'm trying to do that, but it's a ton of work. But I just think it'd be really, really fun and exciting to get that out to people because Deathly Delusion Destroyers will be the last one that launches. And I would really like that game to be very exciting for people. I want that to be as good as it can be. All right, everyone. Thanks for hanging out. It's been a lot of fun. Everyone take care of yourselves. I'll think of something cool for next time. Thanks, everyone. See ya. Take care, everyone.